Welcome back, everybody. We're going to go directly back into our game right now as we have managed to re-establish connection. You can't blame me for missing First Blood, but we are back into the game. Greetings to everyone inside of Dota TV. Sorry for the delay for me coming back. I would have disappeared just at the end of the draft, but we have returned to our live stream after we just sorted out our problems, as we've had several upgrades coming in. Looks like it just dropped our line for the moment as far as our gaming machines go. But either way, we are looking at a 1-0 lead already, now going to be leveled up as the Bristleback sort of pick up a kill on the safe lane. And we'll get ourselves a little bit of a bearing in a moment. Nice little tether away, using its own illusion here, boys, just to get into the pit, then use the Fog of War to tether himself up towards the high ground. Yeah, but let's get our bearing. So, bottom lane, we have the Terrorblade being played up by Miracle, being used with Polison as the VS. The Bristleback on the off lane in combination with the Wisp. So we did get that Wisp combo on the off lane. The Shadow Fiend in towards the mid lane up against the Ember Spirit. That early death, well actually, I thought for a moment it would probably belong to him, but the two deaths are the Earthshaker and the Bristleback. Are the two heroes who managed to die. The Earthshaker looks like he's doing a bit of a roaming kind of build, a lot of early clarities. So yeah, he's just moving himself across the map. He's a roaming. Skywrath Mage as well as then the Axe get to be the combination on the top lane. So the only thing which I was thinking about during the drafting phase, which won't be included in this VOD, but I can say what I was saying before and just repeat it again, was the fact I was looking for the Skywrath Mage to combine up more with probably the Bristleback on the lane, because I just thought that would be a really, really solid lane for the top. But instead they just run the Axe, they can creep, skip it out. It's really good harassment anyway from range, and they keep with the classic combination of the Wisp and Bristleback, which is still a really good combo. And they put the Wisp on the bottom lane, so he's got easy access to that bottom rune. Shadow Fiend's having a nice little time with his CS, keeping neck and neck with the Ember Spirit, as Wisp is just helping out everybody. So yeah, we're all good for the moment. As Axe able to find a lot more farm now up on this top lane too, up to 1300 in the gold. So working his way towards that Blink Dagger of his. As Bristleback just chilling with his farm on the bottom lane. Is this going to be an only Medallion, or what are we looking at from him? And Medallion is where my mind goes. If they do try the dire side to get in towards Roshan very early on, it's a dangerous thing to do because there's got a lot of easy ways to scout out Roshan. And if Tidehunter is finding... Okay, well, that just saw a lot of life points being taken away from the Ember Spirit quickly, so just had to check. But if that Tidehunter can get to level 6 in a reasonable time frame, then Roshan will be a little bit more difficult for them to achieve. But the Bristleback can get pretty much zoned out in this off lane if he didn't have the Wisp here. But with the Wisp here, then if Bristleback can get a couple of good stacks over on the Vengeful Spirit, no point up in Nasal Goo just yet. But now, yeah, they realize they can just run themselves in, keep that Quill Spray going, trying to keep it stacked up over on Polison, which means they can kill off that VS. One more attack or one more spray, that'll do the work, and they just get themselves a nice, easy pick-off. Vism trying to make him almost like lulled into a false sense of security that there was no one else around him. And then the Wisp just able to turn on that overcharge, and they just run down the lane at him. So 2-1 now up on the board. With that top tier 1 tower going down as well, the dire side really getting a good injection of cash. Cloud support's coming over, and Ysera does the right thing. Just backs up as he is just about to come underneath the tier 1 tower. No reason to overextend himself, especially when Cloud's walking around with some bottle charges. As Axe, okay, now Ysera has overextended himself. Moves himself a little bit further down. Axe doesn't really have the movement speed. Like, it's 340 up against a 360, so the Axe couldn't get in range for the call over on the Ember. It would have been the perfect time as well. With that Flame Guard on cooldown, they would have had an opportunity to find the kills. Looks like Bristleback's having some fun on the bottom lane. The Ember Spirit's going to come in and try and battle up against him. He'll get the pick-off here. It's a nice little solo one. I was actually waiting for the pick-off over on Bruno. But Axe couldn't get there in time. Or at least he approached from a really weird angle. And a 1-1 trade-off on the bottom lane. That's in favor of 5-Ever. Yeah, but instead of like just moving in from behind, he came up and then he went down and then he went round. Then moved into the lane. But by that point, the Tidehunter was well back. Miracle farming I wonder if this is going to be a Hand of Midas game from him as well. He's already got the PMS as well as the Ring of Aquila, so it looks a little bit more early game focus coming out from the Terrorblade. And in 40 seconds, more than likely, he'll just head down towards that bottom lane and try and force it out. He might also just want to buy up some treads as well as the Salve. And a Clarity. Bring himself back up to proper life points. So he can push. Middle lane, Ember Spirit. There's still no Sleight of Fist. You could throw potentially like an aggressive Spirit up on the top, which would keep Cloud back. In case he just wanted to jump into the Syrian Chains with that VS stun. Well, there's a wave of terror. Now with a follow-up stun, but a really good call. 3 heroes caught inside. He needs more spins. The early Culling Blade. It was way too early on him. So Ysera, he's got no Spirit. He doesn't have a Spirit to move out to. Rule number 1 of Boy Scouts Embers. Always leave a defensive Spirit before you go in for initiation. And that was an initiation that was started up by 5EVER. They really wanted to make, like, back here. He could have got himself away to safety. Bruno will find himself a little bit of a friend here in the form of an axe. I was able to watch everything Bruno is doing. But that Dire Observer blink goes in for the call. 2 razors should be enough to finish the job here. There's number 1. The orb, concussor shot coming in. Now Ysera trying to hold that axe in position. A good fissure. But maybe not so great. No, they do have a little bit of room around the side, so Ysera just running forward. He's got Syrian Chains in 1 second time. He was looking over at the Wisp, but they'll be happy to take the Shadow Fiend out as Terrorblade goes into that Metamorphosis. Is there a VS done? You bet your Nelly there is. That Io gonna die just on the bottom of the stairs. He was hoping that pull would drag him up to this spot, but he didn't get that high up, and now Miracle, he's still got large duration left of this Metamorphosis. So makes more copies of himself. Vism way too far up here. The attack damage, not actually enough for Miracle to get the kill. In fact, they're going to lose the Ember Spirit because the Bristleback Quills turned his back into the call. Now it's Miracle who's in trouble. So it looked like a really good push coming out from 5EVER. Is going to turn around on top of his head as Chipix forced his way into the tree line using that Fog of War. But Vism's moving so quickly. Now he's actually moved so quickly, he's out of range of that tether. But the raise comes in from Shadow Fiend, so he'll get the pick off there. As Axe just wants to try and mop up the rest of this Ancients. The rest of the Ancients. Io, he's still got 2 stick charges as well as a bottle charge up his sleeve, so he's keeping the axe up. They'll take the entire stack. This is just disastrous for 5EVER. Yeah, look at the 3 top net worths belong to the Underminer team. Looking so good here in game number 1. It will be the Yasha build coming out from Terrorblade. Everything will be a little bit more delayed than normal, however. He's got 1 death to his name. It's just also because we're not running a Hand of Midas. And he did buy the PMS as well as full Ring of Aquila beforehand. So that extra Moolah just isn't really there yet. It's the reason why he's sitting in that 4th net worth position as opposed to at the very, very top. It's also because that fight was just so bad in the mid. They're going to smoke up. Is this meant to be a Roshan? Like, Miracle's in the neighborhood. They're not going for Roshan. I think they just want to kill on bottom lane, but there's no one from Underminer on the bottom lane. They have no desire to be here at all. They move in through the side. That means an aggressive Observer Wall can be planted on top of the cliff. He's actually not. He's going to put it deeper behind the tower. As now there's Axe moving in towards that bottom lane. He might think they're alone. Bruno, the smoke's now going to break. And they look at that tier 1 tower. Shadow Fiend's taking out the mid tier 1 tower in the meantime. Blink, call with the Mystic Flare. The Ember Spirit drops quickly and into the Ravage as well. The follow-up Fissure. The Io. There's nothing he could do. He tried to relocate, save him out, and that's not going to work. It's a triple kill for the Axe. This JDMLG Pro League stream that we've had today, like, it really is glorious Axe days. In game number 1 we had it. That was also again up against 5EVER when they got completely schooled. What was it, 18-1-12 or something like that? Axe, it was, I can't remember the exact number, but it was an Axe that just stomped them into the ground. He got doubles, he got triples, he got ultra kills. The only thing he was missing was a full rampage. And this Axe just did it again. 2,100 gold now with a 4-for-1. Up to the wonderful point of level 9. So he can buy some survivability to go with everything else he's got. Vism Looks like he's got enough to complete up his Vanguard as well. So good survivability in for him. Wisp can actually try and keep his distance a little bit more. Cloud starting up on Roshan, but it's the Bristleback who kind of has to do the tanking here. Now the Vanguard's arrived, at least got some really good regeneration. The Wisp doesn't have a lot to play around with, but there is a 12-minute rune spawning in 15 seconds. And that'll give him those 3 bottle charges, which he really does require. As Terrorblade, Miracle might be almost worth sending an illusion in for that one. With Nezuku, -2 in the armor, over on Roshan. Bristleback just keeps pounding into him, and he's got it. So Aegis, the Immortal on the deck, will be picked up. Bounty Rune stolen out by the Ember Spirit, so Wisp. He just goes back to base instead with a TP scroll. But with Roshan going down, more injection of money coming in here to Underminer.
Dire's top tower is under attack.
It's Cloud back behind the tier 1. Trying to defend from range. Don't lose these souls again. Went for the early mech build, realizing the team fights is going to be one of their critical points. So if they can group up as 5 heroes, they can just force down lanes. Don't turn this into a split push battle. Like, you're playing up against a Miracle Terrorblade. You know you don't want to play into a split push. You need to be as powerful as you possibly can. Force 5 ever to come towards you, and then just beat the living crap out of him. And if you possibly can, get that kill over on the Tidehunter before he's capable of ravaging. And maybe even just try and focus him down before he's able to pick up that Blink Dagger, because you could then just kite out the Tidehunter so he only gets 1, maybe 2 people in that Ravage. Once he gets the Blink Dagger, there's a higher chance he can get all 5 heroes from Underminer inside that Ravage. So they're probably trying to give him that extra space inside the jungle. Up to 1,500 gold now. Has to go all the way back to base because he's completely out of mana. Wait, what? Bruno. No. This was not the plan, Stan. This was not the plan at all. He just picked up double braces as a Tidehunter. Like, I know you're worried about losing life. Maybe you want to try and survive the Mystic Flare. Maybe that's the way he's doing it. And right now, he needs to be the jumping guy, so Miracle has a lot of space being created. The Ember Spirit can cause a lot of problems too, but you don't want to have your Sierra being your first person in. Now he's going to find 2 heroes. Oh, that relocate. That came in pretty quick from the Wisp. But the Ember Spirit just jumped out to a defensive Spirit the second he realized there was 2 heroes there and not just the 1. He backed himself up. Most heroes he'd probably back himself, and then he probably, then again maybe he wouldn't. That's a Blink and Blade Mail over on the Axe. If this Axe gets a little bit more life points, because he doesn't really have a lot. Like, the Blade Mail's okay, but if he had a Vanguard, then maybe there'll be a little bit more to work here. Cloud comes in from the side. Nice VS stun. Gonna buy that space. Axe dropping low. Mystic Flare. Defensive Spirit back towards the tier 2 tower. Learning from the mistakes of the mid-fight. Vengeful Spirit with the aggressive Observer Ward. Now he can see at least where the setup is coming in from that Axe. Well, what they don't see is what's happening up on top lane. So Bristleback pushing in with the Aegis Immortal. There's no relocate for another 37 seconds. But it's going to force somebody to come up to this top lane and defend it. And then again, at the same time, I'm not seeing Underminer being able to force down the lane. It's just, yeah. Obs and sentries. Suppose there's no invis heroes that can move up either. With Dire, their Observer Ward inside the Radiant jungle. I was going to see Polisum moving forward. The Sentry Ward, I think it's just out, it's just out of range. So the Smoke will move in. Now, obviously Sentry won't be revealing this one. As Underminer just hopes someone comes in close. They ping it out, saying that this is going on. Now, they can't see him, but they can. Well, Miracle. Well, the pings were coming out from the Earthshaker. I don't know if that was calling a camp or calling something else, but it was ignored by Miracle, and now he pays the price. A very simple kill over on a Terrorblade. Easy experience and gold coming in for the Axe. And they'll try and force into the tier 2 tower. Miracle doesn't have buyback. He spent the money on an ultimate orb before death. So there's no extra cash up his sleeve. So they can just start chipping away at this tier 2 tower in the mid lane. That BKB is on the way for the Shadow Fiend. Very defensive build again coming out from another SF today. Miracle was the one who played it earlier today in the first series of the day. And then we'll just stop saying day, because I've repeated it too much. Tier 2 tower dropping low, down to 1/3 of his life points. The Fissure trying to buy a little bit of space with the Sun on the Bristleback. Remember, he's still got this Aegis Immortal. I think it's only here for another minute or so if he's lucky. As Searing Chains Bristleback, there goes your Aegis. It's going to trigger. Now they can try and go for another kill, but at the same time, Axe able to hold Miracle in position with that Mystic Flare. They'll bring down the Terrorblade, which also takes out a lot of the damage output the 5EVER had. They do have the Bristleback at least control the front lines. Then the Mech Ravage connects over on 3. Wave of Terror kills off the Skywrath Mage. While now, Shadow Fiend, a nice Requiem of Souls, able to help get that kill over on the Tidehunter. With a lot of burn onto the Axe. The Blade Mail trying to protect him as Vism is just diving deep. They haven't even killed that tier 2 tower until now. But they went deeper inside the base here of 5EVER to ensure the kills, going 16-7. After that engagement, it does, of course, go the way of Underminer with a 3-2 trade-off. Overall, though, they just hold a massive, massive lead in this game. 7.5k in the experience, over 10k in the gold. And they just keep moving and waiting until the next Roshan. Just over 2 minutes until Roshan will be up. So in the meantime, it's farming up inside the jungle. Looks like also stacking inside the jungle for this Wisp. And keeping the other lanes pushed and controlled. That's the goal from Underminer right now. Get those critical items with those BKBs. You got one on the SF. The Bristleback actually just going for the SMY. So survive and tank ability.
Dire's middle tower is under attack.
And the Axe. He's a little bit off his. He'll take some more time. Potentially he can catch out. Oh, no. He got the wrong one. He got the fake. The Observer Wall was allowing him to see him move in, and he didn't see around the corner, which was his problem. So the damage output of the Terrorblade wasn't really noticed. So he thought he got a good opening. Either way, Underminer's 3 cores are just so far ahead of anybody over on 5EVER. And you look at like Ysera, like you think, okay, well, you need your Battle Fury up, like you're now 19 minutes in. You could think about a 25-minute Battle Fury, but the only way that's going to happen is if 5EVER get possibly the greatest team fight or the greatest throw that has ever happened by Underminer. That's almost what's required of him. The Ravage is coming back off cooldown, but again, Tidehunter has no way to get in, so the Tidehunter's actually going to go for a mech charge here. He really has just become this sacrificial kind of guy. And I'm concerned this is the wrong approach. I can understand the approach because like the whole idea of having both a mech as well as a Ravage is making Underminer fearful about jumping in. Now, you do have an Axe that will jump in. You have a Relocate as well. Okay, Ysera, you're in a little bit of trouble here. You've got a Defensive Spirit up? Yeah, he does. So he's in actually no trouble whatsoever. Yeah, but the Tide, like, when you go for a build like this, it's come at me, bro. And then Ravage, Mech, everyone comes back up in life points. The enemy team gets massively stunned, and you punish their overcommitment. Like, that's the goal of this Tidehunter build. But this also means that 5EVER now play to the tune of Underminer, which maybe isn't as great a thing in the world. Sleight of Fist, Searing Chain, at least able to control up the Axe. Miracle and Chibix, they're a long way from this fight. So Sleight of Fist is just trying to chip down the creep wave, but it's not enough to stop this tier 2 tower from dying. No one else from 5EVER is really here. Another Sleight of Fist, but they'll just tank it up themselves if they have to. They have an Axe as well as a Bristleback. Like, there's no real problem with this. So Chibix, he just takes the creep wave out. So Miracle can now try and force down the middle lane. He can just trigger Metamorphosis, make a copy of himself, and Mana style it up. And force down the lane. Oh, is he moving? Where's he? Makes a copy of himself. There's 2 of them. So already the IO is starting to get pummeled down by Miracle. He does go into Metamorphosis, so he'll commit for this one. But he's already used his Mana style, and he's been locked down, trying to TP himself away to safety. Will be unsuccessful. And the Ember Spirit also dies up on the top lane in the meantime. Looks like a Requiem of Souls. Culling Blade also being committed. It was the Shadow Fiend who got the kill on the Ember Spirit. So 2 primary cores going down here for 5EVER. And they could just push in through the top.
Dire's bottom tower
There is really nothing that stops them from taking out this tier 3 tower. Buybacks? You do have one over on the Ember, but with 15 seconds left alive, you don't really want to be using this. 15 seconds left dead, you don't want to be using this. Same with the Terrorblade. So just fortify and rely on the supports to do the work, but this could go really bad if these supports get picked off. Bruno to the front lines. Vism, he really doesn't want to back out from this. In fact, they're just going to try and take the fight 5v5. Remember, there's no Requiem of Souls. The Mystic Flare still on cooldown for 4 more seconds. Now you're jumping. They found the Titan. They're going to pick him up before the Ravage. Yes, they do. And he'll have to buy himself back into this game as quick as he possibly can. Echo Slam. Slowing him down. Mystic Flare, where is she? That Fissure doing some work. Chipix with the stick charge keeps himself alive as Vism just runs down looking for that physical damage. There's your Culling Blade with the bonus. Nice Ravage now, so they'll pick up the Bristle back. The Shadow Fiend's already on the sideline. The Blade Mail might protect Axe for a moment, but now they actually tether him up and a relocate safe. He'll sever the tether and Wisp will sacrifice himself here. No one can stick around. Underminer already pinged out the fact the Observer Ward's up on top of the cliff. So even if you had a hero even slightly around here, you'll still be in trouble. He has to rely instead on the creep wave to try and tether himself away. But it's not going to work. And now Underminer, they do get punished for their overcommittal. The funny thing is, like, it didn't really work the way like the Tidehunter kind of envisioned it working, which was the, oh, I've got 2 braces as well as a Meg Charge. If I get these things off, I'll still get my Ravage. He got controlled so heavily, and the damage output was so high from Underminer, that they killed him off before he can get the Mech Charge off or the Ravage. And even if he triggered it where he was, it wouldn't have done enough. So the buybacks is really kind of what saved Five Ever just then. That's that one from the Tidehunter. But they're still battling uphill. Like, they won the fight, but they haven't really won the war. They get a little bit back of that advantage. In fact, actually quite a lot in the experience. Because they took the big critical kills. But can they really take this battle? With the double damage rune now coming on the Bristleback, Earthshaker does have a Blink Dagger. He's just going to fissure inside the pit. Wait, no. You do not want to be walking in here, Chibix. There's a haste rune. He blinked himself away. So the haste rune can now be bottled up by Cloud. Or will it? The axe? Yeah, just bottle up in the Shadow Fiend. This Roshan belongs to Underminer. For everything they've got, while Ravage is down and while Echo Slam is down, there's no real answer to the Underminer team fight, unless they do what they did, which was fight up into a tier 3 tower inside, obviously, the base, which means there's also buybacks. Whoop! Quick blink. Chivix, quick on the fingers tonight. Saw Cloud moving in the last vision, the creep wave.
Dire's top tower is under attack.
See Sierra finally going to bring down this remaining tier 1 tower. Then again, there's still fortification. Double TPs are coming in. Miracle going to TP himself away to safety. Well, they found Ysera in the tree line, so Concussive Shot followed him down there. There will be the defensive spirit. It's a decent way down. The call, not going to really connect on anything. It does give him the extra armor for now. Then into the Battle Hunger, relocate. VS going to try and swap up, but they have more than enough damage to kill off that Vengeful Spirit. But a sacrifice to relocate. And Earthshaker, he's asking for a little bit more help. The support coming in is Terrorblade. He's not going to get there in time. Earthshaker, he's going to have to blink himself up to then go for this fissure. He's got Echo Slam, as well as the Totem Stomp. That might even be enough damage to find the kill, while Ember Spirit got picked up by the Shadow Fiend. He's going to keep chasing it. In with the overcharge, hurting himself, but giving himself the movement speed. Where's the creep wave? TP out? No, not going to work. So Ember Spirit died on top of his own tier 3 tower. The buyback will come. And Bruno, he has that Blink Dagger now. So finally they can initiate out and catch Underminer, like, with the pants down a little bit. Well, Terrorblade just purchased. It really is. Well, I kind of said this was the build initially he went for in the past. Okay. Whoa. Metamorphosis battle over on the Bristleback. He's trying to kill off the illusions as quick as he possibly can. Remember, well, I was going to say Sunder would be available, but they were both as low as he was. So there was no real advantage from even sundering anybody there. And the Terrorblade will go down. I think Miracle realized he had overcommitted himself too far up the lane, and there was no real way out of it. So all he could really do was just trigger Metamorphosis, pop the Mana Star, make some illusions, and do as much damage as he possibly could. Maybe he could find a kill with that new relic of his. But he's going the Radiance build is what I was leaning towards before. Manta, Radiance, and then just turn this into a split push battle. Get the call timing right. Ysera, Defensive Spirit, and even further Defensive Spirit. The Battle Hunger will tick him down, but it wasn't enough, and there was no Culling Blade available for the Axe. Paulison gonna find the Skywrath Mage with that Earthshaker as well. They will drop him like a sack of potatoes, and then call over on 2 supports. You ask yourself the question, is it worth it? If Paulison gets out, then it would be, but they drop the gem.
Dire's top tower.
Gem of True Sight just sitting on the top, the relocate. Where did he go back to? Actually not that far away. Tether through, cuts the tree line. So now you get the gem over on the Axe. They can search for any kind of observer wall to the Radiant side. Yeah, they just saw one over on the cliff. So the Wisp is walking around the entire cliff, and yeah. I actually realized, Mark, I could just blink over and do it myself, alright? He also TP'd up towards the top lane. Maybe a bit of a mistake. Like, the 2 supports are obviously down, the 3 cores being up. But Vism has this thought of just pushing high ground. He's got Heart as well as Aegis the Immortal. So he's feeling invincible at the moment. But without the rest of his team behind him, not as invincible. Then again, in 10 seconds time, they can just relocate the Axe in any way. So keep the pressure up in the bottom lane, keep farming up the Radiant jungle, push in the top lane with the Axe as well as the Wisp, and then relocate them into the fight.
That's for me.
That looks like the most obvious thing. The best way you can approach this game. He's still trying to build that Battle Fury. 1100 gold and he's got it. The Radiance is now done from the Terrorblade. That's going to make it even harder for the Ember Spirit now. Because with the way Miracle plays, he plays a very greedy. Just like most, like Naga Siren Radiance kind of things. You're just everywhere. And these illusions of Terrorblade are just so damn tanky as well that the pushing power is quite high. Now, well, TP out. There's no Basher, but the damage output is quite good. He needed 4 hits in total, however, to kill off Chibix. He potentially had time for 3 then. But he stopped to put in 1 pot of Nasal Goo. Okay, don't know why VS is out even that far. Up against such a quick, the blink initiation from Axe, you got to give it mass amounts of respect. What's he going to be building into now? Scythe of Ice build for the Axe, or Shiva's Guard. Shiva's Guard's probably going to be the more likely one. The only reason why I'm thinking Scythe of Ice is because it'll be a good controller for the Ember Spirit to make sure there is no defensive jump back out again, or a secondary controller over on the Tidehunter. In case you do get the point where you can get the call off, and you just need a little bit more time to stop the Ravage. But it is the Shiva's Guard. So survivability, team fight, and making it difficult for them just to walk away at least. 3.2k life points in this Bristleback. Man, screw having Aegis the Immortal. You don't need that at all. I might have also been tripping before thinking, yeah, they had the Aegis. Tidehunter, Ravage. He doesn't want to do it. Mystic Flare, VS, trying to swap him out. The Meg Charge will keep him alive now, but the Vengeful Spirit gave away his life for that. With the Culling Play buff up, they just run straight back in towards that middle lane. The BKB has gone down for the Shadow Fiend, so there is a chance for Bruno just to blink himself in and go for this, but the Shiva's Guard will connect, so the blink back onto cooldown again. The tier 3 tower's dropping low. Ravage connects over on 3 heroes. The tether in is Io trying to keep the Axe alive. I say trying, he's successful at doing so, while Bruno, so low on life, can he get one last raise? He just blinks up for the Battle Hunger, and the attack from Cloud, in fact, is the thing to get the kill. The Axe keeping himself low. They're going to relocate back to base to save, to heal up. And they'll be back in a moment. With that Tide on cooldown for 60 seconds. Oh, good jump in. Echo Slam. They got the seal, so there was no follow-up. Well, no real follow-up. But with the orb attacks, well as Vism just moving forward. They're going to get the pickup. And now the tier 3 tower going to get beaten down. Shadow Fiend still low on life. Ysera trying to defend, but he still doesn't have this damn Battle Fury of his. So there's no cleave whenever he does his Sleight of Fist. It's just that basic damage as well, because he's not even holding onto the damage dealing item. He's only got the Perseverance on himself. So they take out the mid-racks. They'll intercept the creep wave here on the top lane as well. Another Sleight of Fist. But all they really want is the double raxing now. And nothing stops them. The backdoor regeneration is actually kicking in. Wait, what happened to the creep wave that was there? Sure, that was okay. Creep wave's gone for too long. So TP's out to safety now. Sleight of Fist Searing Chain gonna be too far away. Looks like he didn't even use the Searing Chain, it was just the Sleight of Fist. But a recall, potentially he could actually save him. They drum charge for this as well. Yeah, the Ember Spirit's trying to catch up. He's now 40 gold away from having that Battle Fury. Which is very, very needed. Just to clean up the waves more than anything else. Like, I'm not going to say that's going to change the game because this is still only a 32, 33 minute Battle Fury arriving on the Ember Spirit. But when you got Bristleback that's got this much farm now, also finding himself a Basher. The SF is 5.1k gold. Spend most of it right then. It's going to be a Butterfly. Gets the Eagle Song for now, but is only 900 gold away from having the full Butterfly. So then you got no direct attack either unless you're going to build into a Monkey King bar. And this Terrorblade's going in for a Rascani build. Another 200, 300 gold away from that. Well, I found another kill. What the hell is he doing there? Ward trip? He's got no space for... Yeah, this is no... He walked between two dire Observer wards. Potentially almost three. Like, look how much protection there is from Underminer. Making sure that nothing happens inside their jungle. And the Tide just walks directly under them. Weird. Alright, so Skadi is done for the Terrorblade. Kuri's going back to pick up the last Ultimate Orb. Like on bottom lane. Damn, that Ember Spirit doesn't want to be part of this. We're just going to tether himself in. See just how much damage is capable of coming out from Cloud with just a couple of clicks. They still have to be careful about the Terrorblade's amount of damage. There's just Sleight of Fists and Searing Chain. Make Charge already being expended here by Cloud. That's Vism. He's also got to be careful. He's locked in here. That rock wall is holding him in position with the Searing Chains. His physical damage, however, into Ysera is quite scary. Now the relocate, well, he's trying to send him up. Yep. As the Terrorblade is going to pop outside the base. Do we even have a buyback from him? The answer is a no. The only person with buyback right now is the Tidehunter, and he's quite healthy. He's thinking about the Ravage. He lets it go, hits on two, including the Axe inside the base, but he didn't get the SF. The Axe will go down. And in comes the Bristleback again. He's looking for just the Quill Spray. He'll pick up the VS, giving a triple kill. Turns his back towards the tunnel, which means now there's no damage that can kill him. And Ysera on 200 life points, not looking healthy at all. But Underminer, they're forced back again. Like, the Bristleback might be healing up, but the Shadow Fiend doesn't have the same luxury. In fact, the Wisp is just going to have to TP all the way back to base because he doesn't have enough life points to survive this either. But with the Terrorblade down, yeah, they see Roshan's up again. This time it's the third Roshan, so they get both agates as well as cheese to come their way. Easy, easy work. So the Butterfly is now also fully done for the Shadow Fiend. Someone give this guy some more life points, even if it's just like a casual Morbid Mask. Okay, he'll take the Aegis, the Immortal. And Wisp will give him some extra charges of life. It's not going to bring him up too high, however, until that happens. The shared mech effect, doubling it. Vism. He's got cheese on this Bristleback. I actually can't kill him while he's holding on to that. It's because it takes him too long to get through the 3.5k anyway. Downside for Vism is he just doesn't have any mana, so he can't keep these Warpath stacks up for long. And now blink in from Tide. There's no Ravage on this guy. He's trying to build into a Refresher Orb. I'm seeing also Initiation towards the mid. Yeah, they managed to catch out the Skywrath Mage. But bottom lane, the Fissure again going to go to work. Cloud, he's in range of the tower at least. Can't reach the racks. They focus on bringing down the range racks, so now it's the BKB from Axe. They move over towards the Ember Spirit. He just backs himself up. Still no Ravage. 30 seconds left on cooldown for that one. With the range racks, does not take long to beat through it. And then the melee racks will just be a fallback. How many stragglers can they pick off? Maybe a lot when Miracle's on the front lines. The relocate save. Just saving himself of all things. There's another fissure block will go to work over here on the Bristleback, while Terrorblade dies outside the base. That Axe not looking healthy at all. He runs back up through the mid, and now Wisp returns to the action. Nice lot of Fist Searing Chain. And they really pounce on that Wisp as quick as they can. Requiem of Souls now going to work. With a quick movement down, Cloud just really rips apart most of 5-Ever. Polison's going to be there on the front lines too, so the Aegis Immortal will trigger over on the SF. But Vism's still doing a lot of work. Runs in closer. Searing Chain will be there. Remember, he's still got this cheese available. They'll need more stuns if they're going to try and kill him off. The Echo Slam, the Totem Stomp, he just triggers the cheese anyway. He's distracted them, buying space for Cloud to go to work on the top racks. So all he's got to do is hold him inside the base. But they do a nice little force stuff into stuns, but the GG call comes out. Even with the fissure, he still picks up 2 hero kills almost. It was only 1. But GG. Game number 1 of the series will end up going the way of our wonderful boys from the Dire. Team Underminer take game number 1. We'll have ourselves a short break. We'll be coming back here in a couple of moments' time for game number 2 of Signature versus... it's really weird calling him 5-Ever, but that's what they want to be called, so we call him that. All right, we'll be back just after this break.